हो जाएगा 1 मिनट में। स्टार्ट कर दीजिए।
Hello, good afternoon to everybody. Myself Dr. H.S. Sidhu. So today we will discuss about the MCQs based on the current affairs. So let us start today's session.
फर्स्ट पेज नहीं, प्ले में दबाइए, प्ले में दबाइए, नहीं प्ले में अभी वो फर्स्ट पेज आया ना, लिखा हुआ होगा।
So MCQs based on current affairs. Question number 1. What is Annapurti? There are 4 options which have been given. Free grain distribution scheme launched in Odisha. Free grain distribution scheme launched in Tamil Nadu. Government of India's scheme targeted at fighting anemia. A grain dispensing machine known as grain ATM. So इन चारों में से हमें देखना है कि कौन सी ऑप्शन करेक्ट है. So let us have a look at this. Otherwise the correct answer is D. D. So what is Annapurti? So it is a grain ATM, an automated multi-commodity grain dispensing machine, the demonstration of which was conducted recently during the National Conference of Food Ministers of States and UTs. So भारत के स्टेट्स एंड यूटीज़ के फूड मिनिस्टर्स की रिसेंटली एक जो कॉन्फ्रेंस हुई थी, सो उसके दौरान इस जो अन्नपूर्ति जिसको हम ग्रेन एटीएम कहते हैं उसकी डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन दी गई थी. सो बेसिकली ये क्या है, एक तरह की ग्रेन डिस्पेंसिंग मशीन है जो कि पीडीएस सिस्टम के थ्रू जो वेरियस पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम के जो वेरियस बेनिफिशरीज़ हैं उनको ऑटोमेटिक ग्रेन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होगा. बायोमेट्रिक उनकी पहचान वेरीफाई करके उसके बाद उस बेनिफिशरी को ऑटोमेटिक ग्रेन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन या ग्रेन की डिस्पेंसेशन हो जाएगी थ्रू दिस मशीन. द कॉन्फ्रेंस वॉज ऑर्गेनाइज्ड बाय द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फूड एंड पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. द मशीन हैज़ बीन डेवलप्ड बाय द वर्ल्ड फूड प्रोग्राम इंडिया. सो दिस इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट वन थिंग फॉर योर examination. One point which is important for your examination is that the National Conference of Food Ministers of States and UTs was organized by the Department of Food and Public Distribution. And second, the machine which is known as Annapurti, that is a grain ATM, automatic grain dispensation machine. The machine has been developed by the World Food Program India. So these statements are important for your preliminary examination. So now what are the benefits of this grain ATM? One is it is faster, cleaner and precise, because through the grain ATM the beneficiaries will have fast access, cleaner access and precise access to the rice, wheat and other grains, okay, post biometric authentication. So जैसे मैंने अभी बात की थी कि बायोमेट्रिक पहचान के बाद जो बेनिफिशरीज हैं उनको ऑटोमेटिकली जो ग्रेन डिस्पेंसेशन होगी ये मशीन करेगी. सो दैट मीन्स द बेनिफिशरीज वुड हैव a faster access to the grain, cleaner access to the grain and precise access to the grain. Precise means जैसे हम weight की बात करते हैं because automatic weighing होगा इसके अंदर computerized तरीके से. So you can say जब man द्वारा हैंडलिंग की जाती है तो उसके अंदर जो मिस्टेक्स होती हैं उस मिस्टेक्स को मिनिमाइज़ कर लिया जाएगा, एरर्स को मिनिमाइज़ कर लिया जाएगा. So that is why it is a more precise system and help in elimination of ghost beneficiaries. Ghost beneficiaries are those beneficiaries who are fake, we can say, right, who are not eligible under the scheme, but due to the various reasons they are getting the benefit from the scheme. They are known as the ghost beneficiaries, or the persons who are non-existent but still there are the ration cards which have been made in their names, and such type of persons are known as the ghost beneficiaries. So now the point is that so because इसके अंदर क्या है, biometric authentication होगी, so therefore the chances are there that the ghost beneficiary shall be eliminated. Then 24/7 access to grains for those entitled to monthly subsidized grains through the public distribution system. So there will be 24/7 access to grains. Okay, means 24 hours and 7 days, anytime whenever a person feels free, he can go and he can you can say collect the grains from that automatic dispensation machine. Okay, so according to his eligibility or according to the quota which has been fixed for him. So sometimes पहले क्या होता था कि person को during the day ही जाना पड़ता था, and poor families के लोग sometimes during the day वो अपना काम पे गए होते थे. That is why उनको grain collect करने के लिए उनको छुट्टी लेनी पड़ती थी, या उनको काम के जो कुछ hours थे वो उनको miss करने पड़ते थे, and that led to their economic loss also. So therefore उस problem का solution भी हो जाएगा. During the 24 hours and the all the 7 days, any time a person can visit the this you can say grain ATM, and person can collect the grains from there. And food grain distribution during the emergencies. So when any emergency comes, so at that time the need arises to dispense the food immediately to the people who are in trouble. So in that case, if there such type of the food ATMs would be installed, so then the persons in trouble would have automatic access to those grains. So the next is help in enhancing food security. So this will enhance the food security because first of all the ghost beneficiaries will be eliminated, the fake beneficiaries will be eliminated through this, and the next thing is that the food will remain, the food grains will remain available 24/7. So that means this is good for enhancing the food security in the country. No possibility of spillage, waste and short weighing. So इनकी जो possibility है वो automatically ख़त्म हो जाएगी. Okay. So the next is the features of the machine. This which is this Annapurti, which is known as the grain ATM. What are the features of that? One, it is able to dispense 1 or 2 grain commodities up to 50 kg in 5 minutes. So बहुत जल्दी 50 kg तक का ग्रेन है जो उसकी डिस्पेंसेशन 2 प्रकार के ग्रेन्स की कर पाएगी. So that means saving of time. And the second is 0.01% error rate. And third is low electricity consumption. It consumes only 0.6 watt electricity per hour. And the next is can be attached to solar panels, inverter batteries and elevators for automatic refilling. So these are the various features of this grain ATM. Next question is that how many of the following statements about the Strait of Hormuz are correct? स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मुज के बारे में इनमें से कौन सी स्टेटमेंट्स हैं जो करेक्ट हैं? द फर्स्ट इज इट कनेक्ट्स पर्शियन गल्फ टू सी ऑफ मकरान. मैनी ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स मे नॉट बी नोइंग दैट सी ऑफ मकरान किसे कहते हैं. जो गल्फ ऑफ ओमान है दैट इज़ नोन एज सी ऑफ मकरान आल्सो. So that means it connects the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman or Sea of Makran. There is no island in the Strait of Hormuz. It is of tectonic origin. See, first of all, it connects Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman or the Sea of Makran. So this statement is correct. This statement is correct. Second, there is no island in the Strait of Hormuz. No, this is wrong. There are many islands in the Strait of Hormuz. Third, it is of tectonic origin. Yes, it is of tectonic origin because there is a mountain chain and the spine of that mountain has been you can say submerged into water, and that is why the strait has been developed at that place. So that means out of the three statements which have been given, the two statements, statement 1 and statement 3 are correct. So the answer here is that is the B आंसर. क्योंकि इसमें ये नहीं पूछा गया कि कौन सी स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट है. क्वेश्चन में क्या पूछा गया है, हाउ मैनी, कि तीन में से कितनी स्टेटमेंट्स हैं जो करेक्ट हैं. सो द स्टूडेंट्स मस्ट हैव टू बियर दिस इन माइंड. इसके ऊपर प्रॉपर ध्यान देना है. कई बार इसी की वजह से हमारी गलती हो जाती है. तो लेट अस हैव ए look at the explanation. So answer is B, as I have already told. The strait is in news because recently Iran tried to seize 2 oil tankers near the Strait of Hormuz. क्योंकि यहाँ पर कोई भी न्यूज़ जो आती है वो इसलिए यहाँ क्वेश्चन की फॉर्म में उसको डिस्कस किया जाता है बिकॉज वो रिसेंटली हेडलाइंस में रही होती है. सो दैट इज़ वाई ये जो स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मुज के बारे में आज हम क्वेश्चन डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, व्हाट इज़ द रीज़न, या हम क्यों डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज रिसेंटली ईरान ने 2 ऑयल टैंकर्स को सीज़ करने की कोशिश की इन द स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मुज. ओके, यू नो दैट द स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मुज इज़ बिटवीन द ईरान एंड यू कैन से ओमान. सो ईरान इज़ एट द नॉर्थ ऑफ द स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मुज. So it links the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. The narrow strait separates Iran from the Arabian Peninsula. So ईरान नॉर्थ की तरफ है, साउथ की तरफ है अरेबियन पेनिनसुला. सो ईरान को अरेबियन पेनिनसुला से सेपरेट करने वाली ये स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मुज है. इट हैज़ आइलैंड्स नेम्ड किशम, हार्मुज and the Hangam. So these are names of some islands over there. It is one of the most strategic choke points. So कुछ choke points हैं, you can say, which are the very narrow sea routes, which are the very narrow passages you can say in the sea. So that is why उनको हम choke points कहते हैं. So it is one of the very important strategic points, like Strait of Malacca is there, another strategic choke point. So this is there. So now let us have a look at the map now, right? So here is Pakistan and here is Iran. This is the Chabahar port of Iran, which is being developed by India. So and here is the Gulf of Oman. Gulf of Oman opens in the Arabian Sea. It is an arm of the Arabian Sea, you can say. And this is the Persian Gulf region, and this region which is here, this region is the region of Strait of Hormuz. Okay, and as you are seeing that Strait of Hormuz has Iran on its northern side. Okay, this entire is Iran, right? Bandar Abbas port is that of Iran's port, and on the southern side there is Oman. Okay, so some students may do mistake here because यहाँ आपको UAE नज़र आ रहा है एंड ये एक वेरी नैरो टेरिटरी है जो कि ओमान की टेरिटरी है. सो बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ये भी कंफ्यूज कर जाएंगे इसको लेकर के कि UAE साउथ में है जो ऑन द सदर्न एंड ऑफ द स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मोज. दिस इज़ रॉन्ग बिकॉज ये एक बहुत नैरो सी टेरिटरी है. ये जो टेरिटरी है ये टेरिटरी ओमान की है विच इज़ एट द सदर्न एंड ऑफ द स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मोज. सो दिस इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट विच यू शुड bear in mind. And these are some, you can say, islands also here, right? Kasham Island, which we were just talking about. So these are the islands over there. So now the next question, that is, how many of the following statements regarding BrahMos missiles are correct? BrahMos missile काफ़ी न्यूज़ में रहती है, न्यूज़ में रही है, राइट? सो BrahMos मिसाइल को लेकर के गिवन स्टेटमेंट्स में से कौन सी स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट है, राइट? इन द ईयर 2022 इंडिया का फिलीपींस के साथ एक डिफेंस डील हुई थी. अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट डील इंडिया विल सप्लाई BrahMos मिसाइल टू द फिलीपींस आर्मी. सो एंड रिसेंटली आल्सो कुछ न्यूज़ है इसके ऊपर. सो दैट इज़ वाई वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज़ BrahMos is a supersonic cruise missile developed jointly by India and Russia. Second is only solid propellant engine is used in BrahMos missile. India has exported BrahMos to Philippines. These are the three statements which are given here, and we have to find that how many of the statements are correct. How many? Here again it is not asked that which of the following statements. So we have only to count the number of statements which are correct. So that is there, right? So BrahMos is a supersonic. Supersonic means the speed of the missile is more than the speed of sound. That is why it is known as supersonic. Okay, and cruise missile is a missile which can be guided from remote. So that is the point here. So it is a supersonic missile, cruise missile developed jointly by India and Russia. So many of the students may be knowing that this statement is correct. Next, only solid propellant engine is used in BrahMos missile. This statement is wrong because BrahMos missile में हम solid as well as the liquid propellant engine है जो वो use करते हैं. So that means this is wrong statement. Next is India has exported BrahMos to Philippines. According to me, this statement is also wrong because India ने Philippines के साथ defense deal जरूर की है that India will export BrahMos missiles to Philippines, and even India Philippines के human resources को train भी कर रहा है BrahMos missile को लेकर के. But अभी तक हमने फिलीपींस को BrahMos मिसाइल एक्सपोर्ट नहीं की है. सो दैट इज़ वाई अकॉर्डिंग टू मी दिस स्टेटमेंट इज़ रॉन्ग इन दैट रिस्पेक्ट. सो आउट ऑफ द थ्री स्टेटमेंट्स एज वी आर सीइंग ओनली स्टेटमेंट वन इज करेक्ट. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू मी द आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन शुड बी ए. ओके, सो लेट अस हैव ए लुक एट द एक्सप्लेनेशन. So BrahMos is a supersonic cruise missile, we have already discussed, and supersonic because its speed is more than the speed of sound. It is you can say 3 times the speed of sound. So it is very fast missile. Cruise because it has a because it is a guided missile. It was developed as a joint venture between India's Defense Research and Development Organization (DRDO) and Russia's NPOM, right? So this is there, right? So and next it is named BrahMos after the names of the rivers Brahmaputra and Moskva. So 2 rivers one river is of India and the other river is of Russia. So Brahmos is a name, right, after those two rivers. इंडिया की ब्रह्मपुत्र का ले लिया ब्रह एंड जो मॉस्कोवा रिवर है उसका ले लिया मॉस, सो ब्रह मॉस बन गया. एंड नेक्स्ट इज दैट ब्रह्मोस इज ए 2-stage मिसाइल with solid propellant engine in the first stage and liquid ramjet engine in the second stage. Okay. There are two variants of BrahMos. One is anti-ship and second is land attack. Anti-ship means you can say ships के ऊपर attack करने के लिए है and दूसरा है for the land attack. So naval and land attack के लिए है. It has been equipped with stealth technology. Stealth technology means ये technology है जब ये technology के साथ कोई भी weapon equip कर दिया जाता है तो क्या होता है वो you can say that becomes less visible to radar and other detection methods. So though India has entered a deal with Philippines in 2022, but the export has not yet started. So this is important point. So ये था ब्रह्मोस से related हमारा question. So now the next question which is there. So which of the following statements regarding this leopard are correct? Right. So recently एक news आई है कि यूपी के किसी this you can say वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी या टाइगर रिजर्व के अंदर एक लेपर्ड की डेथ हुई है. सो दैट इज़ वाई इन द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ दैट आई एम डिस्कसिंग दिस क्वेश्चन विद यू. सो द क्वेश्चन इज दैट विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स रिगार्डिंग लेपर्ड इज आर करेक्ट. फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट है लेपर्ड इज एन एंडेंजर्ड स्पीसीज अकॉर्डिंग टू द IUCN Red Data List. I think all of you must be knowing about the IUCN Red Data List. So I am not going to explain it here. I am supposing that you know about this. So leopard enjoys serious protection under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 of India. Madhya Pradesh has the largest leopard population in India. So यहाँ 3 statements हैं and इसमें क्या पूछा गया है that which of the following statements are correct. पहले हमने जो 1-2 क्वेश्चन किए हैं उसमें क्या था how many of the given statements are correct. वहाँ पर हमने statements की काउंटिंग करनी थी कि statement 1 is correct, statement 2, statement 3. उनमें से हमने देखना था कि 3 में से 2 करेक्ट हैं, 3 में से 1 करेक्ट है या 3 में से तीनों करेक्ट हैं या 3 में से कोई भी करेक्ट नहीं है. लेकिन यहाँ हमें क्या पूछा गया है कि कौन कौन सी स्टेटमेंट्स करेक्ट हैं. सो दिस इज मोर स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन. सो है लेपर्ड इज एन एंडेंजर्ड स्पीसीज अकॉर्डिंग टू द IUCN रेड डेटा लिस्ट. सो जिन्होंने ये पढ़ा हुआ है वो जानते होंगे कि दिस स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग because leopard is not an endangered species, it is a vulnerable species according to the IUCN red data list. So it is a vulnerable species, so it is a species of a vulnerable category, I can say vulnerable species according to the IUCN red data list. Second is leopard enjoys serious protection under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Yes, this statement is correct. Madhya Pradesh has the largest leopard population of India. Yes, Madhya Pradesh has the largest population followed by Karnataka. Karnataka has the second largest population of leopard in India. So that means this statement is also correct. So the statement number 2 and statement number 3 are correct. So our answer will be C. 2 and 3 only, these are the correct statements. Okay. So now let us move on to the explanation of this question. So answer is C. Leopard is in news because recently a leopard was found dead in UP's Sohagi Barwa Wildlife Sanctuary. The Sohagi Barwa Wildlife Sanctuary is on Nepal border. This is important. That where does it lie? So it lies on the Nepal border and is adjoining to the Valmiki Tiger Reserve. Valmiki Tiger Reserve is in Bihar. So both these points are important. Sanctuary has been drained by river Gandak. This is also important that कई बार ऐसा क्वेश्चन पूछ लेते हैं कि कौन सी वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी, कौन सा टाइगर रिजर्व कौन सी नदी के ऊपर है या कौन सी रिवर उसके थ्रू फ्लो करती है. सो गंडक रिवर है. लेपर्ड इज ए वल्नरेबल स्पीसीज अकॉर्डिंग टू IUCN रेड डेटा लिस्ट. सो it is a vulnerable species according to IUCN red data list. Madhya Pradesh has the highest leopard population followed by Karnataka. So this is again correct, right? So the next is among the following who among the following publishes the World Investment Report. So नीचे दिए गए में से कौन जो है वो वर्ल्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट रिपोर्ट को पब्लिश करता है. कुछ ऑप्शंस हैं. WTO है, UNCTAD है, वर्ल्ड बैंक है, देन वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम है. ओके, सो ये 4 ऑप्शंस दी गई हैं. सो इनमें से जो करेक्ट ऑप्शन है दैट इज बी. बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. इट इज द UNCTAD. इट इज देयर. And now let us have a look at the explanation. So answer is B, UNCTAD. So World Investment Report is published by the UNCTAD, the same thing. Second, according to the report, India and ASEAN were the most buoyant recipients of the FDI with increase of 10% and 5% respectively. So ये रिपोर्ट क्या कहती है कि सबसे ज़्यादा जो FDI इम्पोर्ट या FDI इनफ्लो का इंक्रीज़ हुआ है दैट इज़ इन इंडिया विच इज़ 10%. एंड आसियन भी एक ऐसा रीजन है जहाँ पर FDI का जो इनफ्लो है वो सिग्निफिकेंटली इंक्रीज हुआ है दैट इज़ 5%. FDI इनफ्लोज इन डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज वर हायर कंपेयर्ड टू विद दोज इन डेवलप्ड इकोनॉमीज़. हाँ, ये भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है कि 2022 में डेवलपिंग इकोनॉमीज़ के अंदर FDI ज़्यादा आई है इन कंपैरिजन विद द डेवलप्ड इकोनॉमीज़. दिस इज़ आल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. China is the second largest FDI host country following the US. So सबसे ज़्यादा FDI US में जा रही है. US के बाद FDI host country which is the second largest, that is China in the world. Though FDI in the Gulf region has declined, the number of project announcements there have been increased. So Gulf region में 2022 में जो foreign direct investment है उसमें डिक्लाइन आया है, बट टोटल जो नंबर ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स है उसमें ज़रूर इंक्रीज़ हुआ है. सो दिस शुड बी नोटेड. FDI to the least developed countries has decreased while FDI inflows in many smaller developing countries remained stagnant. So जो least developed countries जिसे हम LDCs कहते हैं, so in those countries the FDI inflow has been decreased and in smaller developed countries it is stagnant, neither increase nor decrease. We can say much of growth in international investment in renewable energy has been concentrated in developed countries. वो कहते हैं कि जो इंटरनेशनल इन्वेस्टमेंट जो रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी में हो रही है उसके जो ग्रोथ है वो ज़्यादातर ग्रोथ हमने किस में देखा है, दैट इज़ इन द डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज. मीन्स डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज़ के पास रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी में इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए उतना पैसा नहीं जा रहा जितना जाना चाहिए, जितनी ज़रूरत है. सो नेक्स्ट इज investment gap in developing countries is widening as they work to achieve the sustainable development goals by 2030. So कहते हैं developing countries are struggling to gather the finances or the funds to achieve the sustainable development goals, and that is why investment gap in those countries is developing, because their requirement for investment has increased, but the investment which is coming to those countries is not up to the mark. Therefore, the investment gap in those countries, we can say, has increased in this respect, we can say. Okay. Global FDI fell 12% in 2022. This is very much important statement कि 2022 में जो global FDI है that has decreased. Developing countries need a renewable energy investment of about $1.7 trillion each year, but attracted only $545 billion in clean energy FD in 2022. So this is the investment gap in the developing countries, right? So according to this, उनको कितना चाहिए? उनको 1.7 ट्रिलियन जो है उनको चाहिए इन्वेस्टमेंट पर एनम, बट उनके पास 2022 में इन्वेस्टमेंट कितनी आई है? ओनली $544 billion. So this is the gap in the investment in the developing country as far as the renewable energy investments are concerned. So this is about the discussion of MCQs based on current affairs of today. So all the best. Thank you.